friends, and welcome back to the Sunshine Cafe. And Happy New Year! Happy 2025! I'm Lisa Roers, your host, and I am so excited to have you with me today as we wrap up this year with a special year-end episode. Today, we're going to look back at some of the highlights, the lessons learned, and together take a quick peek at some things that are in the works for 2025. Wow, today's episode, we are celebrating the first year of Sunshine Cafe. And with that, also all the crazy ups and downs and the things that went sideways, things that went really well, and some lessons that didn't go so well. We learned, though, just by doing. And second, just by hearing all the amazing stories that our guests had to share. But before I dive into the details of the content and some of the highlights, I want to stop and give a very sincere thank you to you. Yes, you, all of my listeners, my guests out there and the superfans who've kept cheering me on when the technology went sideways or when I started to feel a big whopping load of imposter syndrome. Thank you for listening. Thank you for encouraging me. Thank you for helping me to keep going. And thank you for being part of the Sunshine Cafe family. Whether you've been with me since episode 1 or maybe you're just joining for the first time, I'm so very grateful for you and your support as we as a team attempt to pour positive back into the world. I've heard from so many of you about how this podcast has inspired you and motivated you and helped you on your own journey. And that is exactly why I keep showing up week after week. We're going to highlight some of those comments a little later in the show today. But I just want you to know it's just such a blessing for me to be able to pour positivity into your week, to share some inspiration and encouragement. You've allowed me to share my stories, my ideas, and the messages that I think have power to change lives. I couldn't do that without you. So I'm really honored that you let me into your home, into your car, through your earbuds and onto your computer screens, and also into your hearts and minds each week. My sincere prayer is that in 2025, this podcast will continue to bring you light and joy and encouragement, and that it will inspire you to get unstuck, maybe even to pursue that dream and to make healthier choices, or to finally heal from those emotional or physical hurts, and to reignite your faith so you don't just know of God. After all, even the demons and those against God know of him. But no, rather, I want you to be able to experience the transformative effects of moving from just knowing of him to having a real personal relationship with his Son, the Savior Jesus Christ. And I want you to have confidence today of knowing that you're going to spend eternity in heaven with Jesus and all of the loved ones that have gone before you. That's the peace I want you to have, and that is my sincere prayer. Okay, now, as we get the hair out of my eyes, as we reflect on everything this year has brought, I want to invite you to take a few minutes to think about your own journey. Think about the things you've learned and overcome, maybe things you've achieved and victories you've had this last year. And also ponder what impact you're going to make in 2025. We're going to take a little trip down memory lane together. A year ago, we launched the Sunshine Cafe podcast. It was in part a birthday gift to myself, but also one small way for me to honor my mom, who had recently passed at the time, and my dad, who passed the year prior. Mom was an eternal optimist. She could find positive in nearly anything and never complained, just always had a cheery outlook. And Dad always had a brilliant mind for business and was always jumping into a new business endeavor of some sort. And so it seemed appropriate to honor the two of them as I embark on this journey. And now it's only been 12 months, but we've had so many amazing conversations and experiences that I'm really excited today to just take a few minutes to celebrate. So let's start with the numbers. The highlights of 2024 by the numbers. We started with 0. 0 listeners, 0 experience, and 0 episodes. But after 12 very busy months, we now have 54 episodes featuring 42 incredible guests with amazing stories who poured positive back into the world as they shared their triumphs, their trials, and their victories. We have more than 13,000 subscribers, more than 75,000 downloads, And those listeners are in more than a dozen different countries. Wow, that's a lot of encouragement. On top of all the publishing activities, we've also figured out how to use more than 10 separate technology tools to make it all happen. And that, for me, was probably one of the biggest challenges. So by the numbers, we are still, yes, relatively small, but we're growing and so grateful for all the time and support that you've given us. And ever since day one, my goal has never been to have millions of subscribers. The more subscribers I have, the more positive I can pour into the world. So there is that. But I truly trust that the information we're putting out there is going to reach the people that need it, and those that need it are going to find it. So again, thank you. Let's dive into some of the amazing content we've heard in this last 12 months. There were some incredible stories of just healing that left us all inspired and encouraged, knowing that it was possible. Hearing that it is possible is a huge motivator. A couple of my favorite conversations around healing include episode number 11 with Dr. Brooke Goldner. She was one who healed herself from lupus using food as medicine and her protocol of hypernourishing. She now has gone on to help millions of people, I think millions, hundreds of thousands for sure, to claim the same kinds of victories in healing. Similarly, Dr. Terry Walls, that was episode number 7, she healed herself from multiple sclerosis also through dietary changes, which was such a huge encouragement for me because my mom had MS for more than 50 years. So I really intimately understand the devastation that that disease can cause. And it was so exciting for me to see the hope that can come from a doctor who's found a way to nourish herself to changing that disease. I've never heard of healing from MS until I learned of Dr. Terry Walls. Also, in that same category of healing is an amazing conversation with Chris Wark. That was actually episode number 1. Chris overcame stage 3 colon cancer. He chose to take massive action in both his diet and his environment in order to heal. And he continues to pass that message along. He is now 20 years clean of cancer. And that pain, he's turned into purpose to help countless other people know where to start. His website, Chris Beat Cancer, is a great place to go if you're looking for encouragement on your cancer journey. We were also inspired by my sweet friend, Lucinda Roberts. She has a beautiful story of healing through a liver transplant, and that was episode 15. She now writes books to help young kiddos who are facing kind of that scary reality of needing a transplant, and she is giving them so much encouragement. And then Sandy Nizzi also shared with us about her triumphs over tinnitus in episode 17. We don't hear about that all that often, and yet it affects so many people in our population. These are just a couple prime examples of how good, clean, and nutritious food can be powerful medicine for healing. And guess what? No negative side effects. These stories remind us all of the resilience of the human body and the spirit when we take ownership of our health and healing. I also have some favorite episodes from the last year related to personal victories, kind of moments of triumph. I was really honored and humbled, actually, to hold space for my good friend Lilia Sanders. She had episodes 40 and 41, and she told her 2-part story of escaping a very precarious and dangerous, unpredictable situation with her schizophrenic spouse. She and her 3 little girls escaped that crazy situation, and now they're thriving, living a completely different and victorious life. So very encouraging. I was also really encouraged by my friend Chicha. In episode 48, he talked about his immigration to the United States from Malaysia and his desire to pursue the American dream as an immigrant. He taught us about how hard work and humility can be so critical to our success. And sadly, it's a message we don't hear often enough. Things come to us these days so easily. With our 2-day Prime delivery, we often forget that it does take hard work and humility to achieve our dreams. We also heard from people celebrating personal recovery, like Rebecca Gillis, who inspired us with her story of recovery in episode 13. That episode had so many nuggets of goodness in it. I really encourage you to go back and listen. Speaking of gold nuggets, Dr. Rona in episode 50 shared with us her journey of sugar addiction and how she's currently helping people break free from that hold that sugar can have over our brain when our brains become hijacked by sugar. The crazy thing is that episode has currently over 24,000 views and it's still climbing. I guess there are a lot of listeners out there dealing with sugar addiction and needing some encouragement on that journey. I also got a chance to meet Julie Howard, and we discussed how the program Celebrate Recovery is helping hundreds of thousands of people with their recovery journey. So many encouraging things there. And all of these stories show us that we can create big changes in our lives by simply taking one step at a time. Chi-Cha took one job at a time. We take one day at a time, and small actions do lead to big results. That was actually one of the main themes when I was talking about some business encouragements. And there was one episode in particular that was so hilarious behind the scenes. I was trying to share some business encouragements from my friend Skip Nelson. This was episode 27. I was laughing so hard behind the scenes that I really was not sure I was going to be able to compose myself. If you watch that episode, you'll notice that there's some large gaps of silence. That was me giggling so hard on the other side. And when I laugh that hard, I don't make any noise. It's just quiet. And poor Skip had to kind of improvise until I composed myself. That was really funny. Anyway, I also got to hear Deb Carson's story. She tells us about her amazing journey in episode 28 of moving into sports broadcasting as a female, one of the first females working in sports broadcasting. So really inspiring about breaking into territories of her career that women had never really been in before. We also learned how to put margin into our homes and our calendar from Amy Slenker-Smith in episode 51. Amy taught us how to declutter. She gave us some wonderfully actionable ideas for ways to do that, to put more peace and more calm back into our days. And Patty Peterson in episode 30, along with Megan Terwilliger in episode 39, both shared their gifts of music with us and how important it is to pursue our gifts. These episodes teach us valuable lessons on entrepreneurship and leadership and pursuing our passions. But we also talked about being our own self-advocate, creating healthy boundaries and taking care of our physical and emotional well-being. Nicole Ceballos, Chris Sargent, and Jen Steigert were 3 amazing interviews on these topics. These stories remind us that, success is really important, but it requires us to be balanced. We have to have healthy boundaries, and we need to make sure we take time to put ourselves on the list of priorities. All of those episodes helped us think more intentionally about how we can lead our lives and our pursuits with intentional purpose to build a healthier life and set boundaries which not only protect our emotional well-being, but protects our time and develops lasting peace. It really allows us to be present with our family, present with our coworkers, present with our kids and our friends. Someone asked me which episode was my favorite. And I thought about it for quite some time, but after thinking about it, it's nearly impossible to choose a favorite. And I truly mean this because every single guest has a unique story. They all have their own unique perspective. And I think personally, I learned something new from every single episode. But one of my favorite personal victories for the year, if I can just be real, is conquering all the questions, the unknowns, and the frustrations that come from 10 different technology tools that are needed to publish a podcast. Goodness sakes. From figuring out how to host this thing and distribute it to setting up the studio that we're sitting in right now and the microphone and the camera and figuring out how to use all that editing software. Whew, trust me, there were some serious learning curves to conquer. And I'm not too proud to admit that there were some big crocodile tears as well. But I got through it. And I also had some sweet moments to hone my creative talents with graphic software, which is an area that I just love. So through it all, I have learned a lot about myself, and I've developed a strong respect for anyone who's consistently pursuing a dream or a business or a podcast. Before diving in, I had no idea how much work went into publishing a podcast, but looking back on it all and considering all that I've learned from my guests and from the process of just getting those episodes out every week, it has really been worth it. I'm so proud of how far this podcast has come, from 0 to now nearly 14,000 subscribers. What a testimony to the power of consistency and perseverance. But it wasn't just the guests or the content or conquering the technology that encouraged me this last year. Some of the sweetest moments in this last year came from you, the listeners. Your comments and the feedback have shown me what a difference these episodes are making in the world. And those comments really do mean the world to me. They are a blessing to me, and I'm blessed by what you share and just by learning from you on the things that really resonate. Heidi mentioned in her words, she said, "Thank you, Lisa, for another fabulous podcast. This podcast has encouraged me not to only keep my faith, but to also research more about health issues." Thank you, Heidi, for that comment. There's another listener who posted, "I just came across this channel and your talk on cultivating a family you love was both heartwarming and insightful. Your discussion on fostering strong bonds and creating a supportive environment mirrors the value of love and connection that matter most to me." One of my favorite comments came from Darren. He wrote, "Lisa Roers has an incredible passion for helping others, and her podcasts are interesting and inspiring. I would highly recommend checking out this podcast. It is so good." Thank you, Darren. I love hearing your feedback. And another listener said about episode number 12, which was about a Tony Robbins event. He said, "I think I might enjoy learning these Tony Robbins truths more from Lisa than I do from Tony himself." Now that is a high compliment. Thank you so much, friends. These comments keep me going and remind me that the work we're doing here is definitely pouring positive back into the world and helping to change lives. It's such a joy to hear that the podcast is helping you prioritize faith, your health, your relationships, and being your own best self advocate while learning to live with greater purpose and intention. So I have a couple announcements I'm going to put here at the end of this episode, but as you all know from any of you who listen to my podcast, I like to always wrap up with some takeaways, and this episode is no different. I'm going to give you 5 big takeaways from the year of episodes that we've had here at the Sunshine Cafe. So, number 1, being an advocate for ourselves is non-negotiable. As someone who is naturally an advocate for my family and anyone else around me who needs help, it's sometimes all too easy to put my own needs on the back burner while I focus on helping everybody else. But this year has shown me that taking care of myself actually isn't selfish at all. In fact, in order to help others, it's necessary to take care of myself. To be the best mom, the best wife, daughter, sister, or coach, we first need to be healthy. Physically, mentally, and emotionally. We need to have good boundaries in place, and we need to be fully healed from anything that's happened in our past. We need to have a strong and mighty connection with our Savior and stand firm when advocating for our health, our business, or our well-being. Being our own strong self-advocate is a non-negotiable. It's not selfish, it's required. It's not always easy, but it's always worth it. And the better we take care of ourselves, the better equipped we are to support and help those around us. Takeaway number 2, everyone is fighting battles you and I can't see. One of the most humbling lessons I learned this year is that everybody, without exception, is going through something. It doesn't matter how perfect their life might look like on the outside. Everyone has struggles. And this is why it's so important to approach everyone with kindness and compassion, whether it's a neighbor or a colleague or even a stranger that you run across at a store or on the street. Remember that what they're going through might not be immediately obvious, but hurting people hurt other people. And when we are on the receiving end of somebody lashing out or snapping at us and it doesn't make any sense, we have to remember it's probably not about us. It's not personal. People are working through their own pain So showing them grace during those moments is something we can all learn to be more aware of, more sensitive to, more intentionally showing kindness in the moment. Takeaway number 3, people are incredibly resilient. Wow, I have seen this in action this year. One thing that has stood out to me in every single interview and in all the stories that I've heard is just how incredibly resilient people are. Every person has a story, and often these stories involve overcoming some seriously difficult challenges, things that seem unimaginable. Like it seems like it would be far more realistic to see these things in a movie script than actually in someone's life. And yet, these are real stories from real people. And it just shows me that they are resilient. They press on, usually with God's help, and they get through it. Whether it's battling an illness or an addiction or seeking out a healing protocol or reaching back to help others once they've come through a tough circumstance or stepping into a season of life that looks nothing like the original plan. The resilience of the human spirit is something that truly blows me away. And there's one thing I've learned from all of you is that we are far more capable than we realize. So that leads me to number 4. We can do hard things. I've learned sometimes the hard way that we are capable of far more than we give ourselves credit for. This year has challenged me in ways I did not anticipate. And let me just tell you, it has really pushed me outside of my own comfort zone. I could have given up or chosen not to start it at all. Any one of my guests could have given up. Any one of them could have given up trying to get free, or could have given up trying to let go of that addiction, or could have not tried to get healing and just let themselves fall away. Doing nothing is all too often far too easy. But the truth is, we can do hard things, my friends. You and I can do hard things, and it is so worth it. It is worth pushing past the pain. It is worth facing the difficulties, the fear, the challenges. In fact, the more we lean into discomfort and push through those challenges, the more we grow. One of my guests told me opposition is there for our benefit. Such a brilliant reminder. Thank you, Kirsten. So I just want to applaud and celebrate all of you out there right now who are taking the difficult steps to step out into hard things. It doesn't really matter whether you fail or succeed. The success is trying. When we try and we give it our best, we can all look back and see just how much stronger we have become. So we are capable of more than we realize. And the 5th takeaway, pursuing a dream is tough, but it is always worth it. You know, when I started this podcast, I thought pursuing this dream might be easier than the daily grind of working for someone else. And while the work is definitely more enjoyable, and I have the freedom to do things how I want and when I want, and be aligned with my values and my passions to help others, it still is a lot of hard work. There's a lot of behind the scenes work that nobody else will know about that I have to work through, learning new things and navigating the unexpected. Not to mention the fact that the income doesn't come as quickly as it might when you take a job working for someone else. But the joy of seeing this dream take shape, of having conversations that really matter, of connecting with all of you, makes every bit of the hard work so worth it. And while today I'm celebrating the accomplishments of the past 12 months, I also want to acknowledge that I still feel like I am in the infancy state of this dream. And there are so many things I still want to do. But with all of that said, I just want to encourage you that if you are thinking of pursuing your own dream, or maybe you already are, it's not going to be easy, but it's always going to be worth it. And the success may not come fast. It might be a little slower than anyone hopes it would be. But if you take action today, next year when you look back, you'll be really glad you started today. So just start. Take messy action. Take small steps, make mistakes, embrace the mistakes. Start working toward your future dream that you want to pursue, and you will be so happy you did. So let's take a quick peek into 2025. Looking ahead, we are so excited here at the Sunshine Cafe for what is to come in 2025. It's shaping up to be a big year of growth. We'll have some fine tuning and some big strides and more opportunities to pour positive into the world. So I have a couple big announcements I'm super excited to share with you, our community, today. First, we have some technology improvements coming in 2025. While this year has been characterized with a massive learning curve, I'm committed to fine-tuning everything behind the scenes here to make sure that the experience you have is even better. I want you to get to know my guests the way I get to know them. So the edits are going to be better, the interviews will be more improved, and the technology used will hopefully give you an even better listening or watching experience. Second, I'm super excited to announce that today we're launching the new website for lisaroers.com as this podcast officially becomes part of the greater effort called Leading Life, which is helping people learn, initiate change, be faith-filled, and be encouraged. So LIFE, learn, initiate, be faith-filled, and encouraged while they are leading life. So whether you work at home or in business out in the corporate world, me and my awesome team will be here to help you as you lead life. The new website offers a lot easier navigation, a place for connection, easier ways to find help, and of course, some valuable resources to support you as you grow in your faith and improve your health and intentionally lead your life. We also have plans to launch a membership and a new blog, which will help you keep learning and growing and staying inspired and encouraged. And third, I am so finally excited to share with you that the Fast, Pray, Heal online course is finally here. After much anticipation, I can't wait to share this course with you. Fast, Pray, Heal is designed to help you experience healing through the ancient tool of fasting, prayer, and practical steps to create breakthroughs in your health and faith. Whether you've been seeking healing in relationships, emotional healing in your own life, trying to reignite a faith that's gone a little flat, or maybe you're interceding and requesting healing for a family member, your city, or the country, Fast, Pray, Heal will offer you an actionable roadmap for how to use fasting and praying for healing. It's been a long time in the making, my friends, but I truly believe this course will bring some profound transformation to anyone who chooses to dive in, and it will become a power tool in your spiritual toolbox to be able to use over and over again. The course officially launches live on February 25. So 2/25/25. Check out the website today for how to get on the waiting list or sign up to reserve your spot. But that's not all. In addition to those 3 big announcements, 2025 will have more inspiring interviews with people who are making a difference in and around the world, whether it be health, wellness, faith, or business and leadership. We're going to support you as you're leading life and encourage you every step of the way so you can always be leading life. Finally, me and the team are always looking for ways to meet you right where you're at and to help you in ways that you need help. And so to that end, we would like to hear more from you. Your feedback, your ideas, and your stories are all so important to us. Through the website, you can now contact us so you can directly tell us what things will be more helpful and maybe something we're missing that will help you even more. We're committed to making this podcast and this platform something that you find inspirational, valuable, and encouraging. Okay, so as we wrap up here in the final couple minutes here, I just want to share one of my favorite Bible stories, and I'm not sure why, so I'm just going to go with it. But this is something that God had kind of put on my heart, and it's from Luke 11, starting in verse 5. Jesus is speaking here, and he's sharing a story with the people he's talking to, and he says this. Suppose you have a friend, and you go to him at midnight, and you say, "Friend, lend me 3 loaves of bread. A friend of mine on a journey has come to me, and I have no food to offer him." And suppose the one inside answers, "Don't bother me. The door's already locked, and my children and I are in bed. I can't get up and give you anything." I tell you, even though he will not get up and give you the bread because of friendship, yet because of your shameless audacity, he will surely get up and give you as much as you need. I love that story, and it's been a favorite of mine over the past 8 years or so of my own healing journey as I keep asking God to work in and through me. And so, to that end, my friend, I encourage you, for whatever it is you need in life right now, keep praying. Keep asking God. With shameless audacity, keep reaching out to Him, and He will hear you. I know He will. And just as we ask God for things, I have one sincere request for you as well. If you haven't, will you please subscribe to this podcast right now? Find the button. It's on the page somewhere, unless maybe you already have subscribed. But also, please take 2 minutes and leave me a quick comment on the episodes that resonate with you. It sometimes takes me a day or so to get to them, but I read every single one of those comments, and they are so helpful, more than you know. You, my friend, are part of my team. If you're enjoying this podcast and the content we create, then you're on my team. And you can help me pour positive into the world by sharing the links with those you know in your circles of influence. Again, we have no idea what people are going through, and I thoroughly trust that God will use the content in these episodes to encourage people in whatever way they need encouragement. But they won't be encouraged if they don't hear. So please pass along the links and share these episodes with people so more people can lead life and lead it well. Let's work together to pour more positive into the world and make 2025 a year filled with good, with hope, with progress, and with authentic faith. Thank you for being my friends and for being here with me at the Sunshine Cafe. I wish you God's peace, His blessing, and that you might experience His hope in 2025 like never before. Here is to an impactful and inspired 2025. God bless you, and we'll see you right back here next time at the Sunshine Cafe.